Hi, I'm Connor.
And I'm Dana.
We're here at the Palisades Creek Trailhead just outside of Swan Valley, Idaho, and we're about to hike to the Lower Palisades Lake. The trail we're doing today is an out and back trail, but this area does connect to lots of other trails, so if you wanted to extend your hike, you could, or you could even do overnight trips in this area. So the Palisades Creek Trail is considered bear country. There are bears out here, and while not frequently encountered, it's not surprising to encounter one, so there's a few things that you should take into consideration. One is to bring bear spray. Another thing is to not flee or retreat from the bear. Oftentimes they will see that as sort of prey type attitude. Preventative things you can do are to make noise, you shouldn't hike alone, and just be aware of your surroundings so you can see a bear before you get too close to it. Oftentimes when you're hiking on national park or forest land, public lands, they'll ask you to register. That way they can just keep track of who is coming in and out of the park, how many people are coming in, and also to make sure that you made it in and out safely. So don't forget to check in, and then it's nice to check out as well if you're coming out the same way.
Since this trail takes you right alongside a creek and then we're gonna finish at a lake, it's a good idea to bring bug spray with you. While we're hiking, they're not bothering us really at all, but I imagine if we stopped and took a rest on the trail, or when we stop for lunch at the lake, that we'll be really glad that we have the bug spray. So when you first start out on the Palisades Creek Trail, you'll go across a bridge crossing the creek, and then you won't cross it again until about a little over a mile along the trail. The creek is reasonably wide and fast flowing, so there are bridges at each of the creek crossings.
A little less than 2 miles up the trail, there's a good spot to stop and take a break, maybe have a snack. The trail widens out and there's some rocks sort of nicely located to have a seat and take a load off for just a bit.
Even though this trail is pretty gradual, keep in mind that you're still hiking at elevation. So if you're unaccustomed to the elevation, make sure to listen to your body. Take breaks in order to catch your breath if you need to, and make sure you drink lots of water.
The Palisades Creek Trail is a really gently sloping trail moving up towards the lake. Most of the trail is sort of single track, but there are moments of wider trail where you can walk side by side.
This is a great trail to bring your dog along. Because you hike along the creek pretty much the whole way, there's easy access for water. It's shaded, which makes it nice and cool even on a hot day like today. Just keep in mind that equestrians also use this trail, and so if your dog is unfamiliar with horses, just be prepared to manage them should you encounter equestrians.
Palisades Creek Trail is located in the Caribou-Targhee National Forest, which means that it is dog friendly.
Not as nice as this spot.
Yeah, not quite as nice. About 3 miles from the trailhead, there's this really cool flat outcropping of rock that looks out over the creek. It's a great spot to stop and have a snack if you're looking for a break. About 3.5 miles up the trail, we came to our third river crossing. A nice bridge with some good views up and down the creek. So there are 6 creek crossings on the way up to the Lower Palisades Lake, and the last 4 come in pretty rapid succession.
I was saying it looked like a little bit like Queen Anne's lace. He said it looked like something else too, and I was like, oh.
So there are 6 bridged creek crossings on the way to the Lower Palisades Lake, and the last 4 come in relatively quick succession. Palisades Creek Trail is a relatively popular trail, although we're finding it to not be too crowded. We don't feel like we're hiking on top of other people, but we are seeing quite a few people. One thing to take in mind is we are hiking at midweek, so if you're hiking on the weekend, it might be a little more crowded.
After about 4.5 miles, we reached the Lower Palisades Lake. We saw a little campground off to the right of the trail first, and then we could see the lake just beyond that. We decided to hike around the lake a little ways to find a little spot where we could swim bean and sit and have our lunch. But now we're about ready to head back down.
Now that we're on our way back down to the trailhead, we definitely say that this is an easy trail. The terrain's not too difficult. It's not too many steep sections. It's mostly sort of gently rolling trail. The one thing we would say to keep in mind is that it's pretty long. So it's an out and back trail, and it's about 4.5 miles to the lake. And so if you're making that a round trip in one day, it's gonna be about 9 miles. But if you're going with kids, or if you don't think you can go that distance, then keep that in mind. Well, we've made it back down to the trailhead. Overall, we went just a little over 9.5 miles. Although if you're just going to the lake and back, it's probably closer just to 9. Elevation is probably around 800 feet gain. And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, follow, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Thank you.